There are so many myths and misconceptions about henna, and I'm glad you found this video because I am here to squash those myths and those misconceptions that you may have heard of. We need to set the record straight when it comes to henna, for coloring your hair naturally. And welcome, my name is Khadija. I am an expert in henna natural hair dye and Ayurvedic healthy hair care. You'll catch some amazing dope henna body art videos as well in person in Columbia, Maryland, by the way. Let's get to those myths, those misconceptions, and let's figure out what's going on with this henna business. It really does bother me to hear a lot of these myths and misconceptions about henna when it comes to coloring and dyeing your hair. And one of the things that is really hard when it comes to trying to elevate the natural beauty of henna is that cosmetology schools and professionals are just not down with henna for dyeing your hair naturally. And you know what? Most of the time it's not even their fault. This is what they're taught in cosmetology school. And when you are learning about something that is being run by big industry brands that want you to know all about, doing hair with their products, it is what it is. It pretty much makes sense that they don't really want you to use something natural. Like, why would they promote something that they don't sell? But the sad part is that then all the students of, cosmetology, hair care, for the most majority, are just like, henna is so bad for you. Henna will just stay in your hair and it'll never go away. It's never gonna be able to be lifted or taken out. Mind you, some of those things may be a bit true though, so I'm not gonna sit here and just, not be transparent about how henna is with your hair. But there is no way that anyone can say that makes henna bad for your hair. No. Henna is a beneficial herb for your hair. It is better than chemicals. There is nothing of benefits in chemicals. And even if, let's say you get like a nice, oh, this is really good and it's really, worked out really well for my hair, it goes into your bloodstream. You don't know the long-term effects. You don't always know because there's not these studies out there. And henna is a natural herb put on the earth, and I'm a believer that God put it here for a reason, and it's for us to use it to naturally care for us, because henna has a lot of benefits other than hair. A lot. So you definitely need to see a lot of my other videos that I have about henna and its benefits overall, because it is a healthy hair care herb and for mind, body, and soul, like 100%. So its effect on you is more than just a basic color. It is giving you a whole experience. Those of you who have been using henna, you know what I'm talking about. So let's get into these myths and misconceptions, and let's just get to the truth of it. Let's just be transparent. Let's just share some real information. A big myth that you cannot use metal with henna. Said no one. Said that's not a true fact. That is not true at all. Stainless steel, which is usually the metal that we use when we are mixing our henna. And when you think about it, our foods and mixes and herbs and probably most of all your hair care products that you actually do use is usually going to be mixed with stainless steel. It's very clean, it's very sanitary, first of all, and it does not conflict with pure natural henna. So that being said, when you're using the Hennasooq brand of henna products, there are no additives, there's no metallic salts, there's no synthetic dyes, ingredients, additives, fragrances. It's just pure henna. It is what it is. So yes, you can use stainless steel when you're mixing your henna. I do it all the time. I've been doing this for over 20 years and the results are always amazing. And I just love, for me, stainless steel and ceramic. Those are probably my first two choices because they're non-porous material that won't absorb the henna, and I like that. I like it being clean and there's no porous, like plastic is very porous, or wood, and it can suck up some of that henna and sit in it. So I don't really like that personally. So stainless steel and ceramic are my favorite. Another huge myth that you'll hear is that you cannot use chemicals over henna hair dye. And even chemicals including box dye, salon color, perms, relaxers, that you cannot use henna at all. That is not true. You can safely use henna, pure natural Hennasooq henna, to do your hair, even if you're still using chemicals. Mind you, one small thing though, is if you are trying to lift the henna out, that's where it's a bit tough. No, it's not gonna melt your hair and Your hair is not gonna go on smoke and fire, not Hennasooq's henna ever, so that won't happen. But with any chemical lifting, if you're trying to pull something that's in your hair to protect it and nourish it, and then it's gonna be tough. And like I said, I'm being transparent, it's all transparent. It is hard to lift henna, but I have plenty of clients that use relaxers and perms, and they even go back to using hair dyes even in between, once in a while. Maybe they want to just change something up a little bit, they want something really quick, and maybe you don't have henna on hand. There's a lot of situations where you're like, well, I just want to do something different, right? It's your hair, At the end of the day, I do definitely support whatever option you choose, but I do believe, and I do want each one of you to use henna or an Ayurvedic herb in your regimen to have healthy hair overall. That henna will make your hair brittle, break, and just be crunchy. So that's a misconception. It's not a go-to, absolutely not. Henna is very good for your hair. It acts as a protein treatment and it's very strengthening. It is a great herb to use. That being said, yes, you should not overuse henna either. You need to use it in moderation because it behaves like a protein treatment. You don't need to over strengthen your hair. There's no point, because it behaves as a protein treatment. You don't want to overuse it. You don't need to over strengthen your hair. For what? Why? you only need that every about maybe 3 to 4 weeks, so you don't need to overdo it, because then your hair will feel dry and brittle because it's too much. Another common myth is that henna is just for women. No, of course not. Why? Henna is about equal rights. It's for everybody, every background, every culture, every person, man, woman, whatever walk of life you are walking. Henna is for you. I've done my husband's beard hundreds of times. We have lots of men that color their hair with henna, and it's for everyone. I've even done my daughter Matina's hair with henna. So age is not even a factor either. So yes, henna is for everyone. This is a huge myth that henna comes in colors. I really blame this money-making industry. It's all about the commercialization of henna, getting you to buy something because they don't think we know any better. They're like, oh, Henna Colors, that's okay, I get it. You're trying to make it easy so people can be like, oh, okay, I'll buy this henna color, burgundy, blonde, black, and all these other things, and put it in my hair, but it's not pure natural henna. And that the thing is, when you get these henna colors or these liquid hennas and all these different variations, then you gotta be really careful, because then it's like, well, is there an additive in it? Is there a chemical in it? What are the ingredients in it that make it this other color than what henna is naturally? It's a plant. Henna as a plant doesn't make more than one color naturally. That doesn't even make sense. Henna does have slight variations in that red tone by country of origin, that's a fact. Like apples, you have northern apples, you got southern apples, the apple that grows in New York is gonna be different from down in Georgia. There are varieties and little variations, but not colors. Like an apple is an apple. Yes, okay, there are red apples and green apples, but I mean, generally speaking, I think that you guys get the idea. Henna truly is a natural plant, and it stains typically this reddish range, orange, reddish, coppery, burgundy, slight variations, but there's no henna colors of these browns and these blacks and blondes. Those are naturally created though by using, cassia, indigo, amla, aloe, playing around with other herbs. Yes, you can naturally achieve some of these colors, but when you box henna as offering all these colors, it does lead to confusion, because then you have to be hyper aware of every single ingredient of every product that you're buying. But if you're coming to Hennasooq, we pretty much make it plain and simple. We are transparent. We let you know what the deal is and what you can accomplish naturally using henna. So it can be a little limiting, but that's why we support you in your hair journey, no matter where you are in that, even with chemicals. Oh, another big one that you'll hear is about this neutral henna. You're like, neutral henna? Okay, so it's like a colorless, is it odorless henna? No, that's another myth. No, that's definitely another no-no. No, that doesn't exist. There's no neutral henna, but again, it's about the commercialization of it making it so like, oh, we don't know any better, like they think we're dumb. And they're like, oh yeah, just buy this neutral henna, you know, no. You know, usually, honestly, it's probably cassia obovata. And you might as well just buy cassia and know exactly what you're using. Why do we have to call it henna to make it, like, again, so confusing? Henna this, henna that, all these different henna, like, it's so confusing that I just want you guys to have the right information about what henna is, so that when you buy henna or another herb for that matter, you know what you're using. You're like, why do we have to play these games like of like, oh, let me, like, you know, if it was all about that, that could be easy. Hennasooq could be like any other brand and do whatever we want because we feel like, oh well, yeah, they don't know any better, what do they know, like we can just sell them anything, right? No, that's not what we're about. Like, we're bringing henna to a whole other level. Not only are we bringing henna to a whole other level, we're also focusing on representing our underrepresented community of Black and brown women and men, and our whole community, you know, our whole community where you don't hear about the henna uses and the traditions and the roots and the ancestry behind it. It's deep, so just know that it's deep. So always keep your eyes and ears open, pay attention. Don't let people try to play you to buy things that you don't have enough knowledge on, because they make it sound so simple. It's like it's easy to fall into that, but just be aware of everything that you're using and intaking in your body. It's really important, and that's what we do here at Henna. So we want to represent people who don't get this information, you know, and our community, my roots, you know, this is really important to me. So I want to, like, empower you the way that I feel empowered. So that's really a big part of the essence of what Hennasooq is. And Hennasooq also is a big part of trade and bringing people together. You know, you have all these different countries and cultures and people. We need to remember that we need to stay together and stick together. You know, these things should be bonding us together. This knowledge, this learning, this community, self-care. We are humans at the end of the day, so we need to really connect on these things. And, you know, my connection to all of you is through henna and this beautiful, amazing brand that I've created so that you guys get to experience this, called Hennasooq, which is the marketplace for henna. And the great thing about that is when I open up in Columbia, Maryland, you guys better come see me. So I really hope that I clarified some of these myths and misconceptions for you. If I missed something that you've heard, please let me know below in the comments. I would love to, like, further discuss this and, you know, make more videos and more content around this, especially if this is something that's really, you know, on your mind and you've been thinking about it and you want to know more. Please let me know in the comments please let me know in the comments below, and I will be more than happy to answer some of your questions and put it into a queue to make a video on it. That would be amazing. And so just hit subscribe and notification bell so that you don't miss any of my videos. I have so much more coming for you guys, you know, so don't miss any of it, because I want you guys to be here with me in this whole journey that I'm going through this year, the new space and the new branding, everything. I want you guys to be here with me. So don't miss any of my videos. Subscribe today. I mean, like right now, right this minute. All right, I'll see you next time. Bye.